what's in your mind, for you and for I. I'm trying to decide from the look in your eyes, yeah. I mean besides, but your feelings inside you.
4 fucking episodes in.
We're in.
I'm tripping out right now. And we got our first guest. First guest. Technically, we got 2 guests here. 3, if you count Valkyrie. What's up, Deja? We got the man, Khalil. How do you do it? Khalil.
There's a lot of versions. Khalillionaire, yeah. Khalil.
Yeah, like 3
Dan
versions.
Khalil, is that you?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of versions. Not virgins. Versions, yeah.
Those 2.
What the fuck, dude? What the hell? Yeah, we got our first guest, the homie Khalil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, bro?
Chilling, man. Chilling. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Stoked. Fucking hyped to have you on the podcast. Yeah. This has kind of been in the making. Yeah. I feel like we were kind of planning it for a minute and shit, so
he called us like after episode 1. Like, can I get in it? And I was like, how about like episode 4?
Because it was cool how you guys set it up. Like, because then you got the artwork done for where y'all 2 are sticking your heads out the RV and the little cartoon. I was like, that's hard. So.
Thanks, man. Yeah, low key, I like that artwork's like, it's whatever. Like, I feel like we look weird as fuck in it.
But it's cool.
But
like, it's
like monkeys.
You know, nobody's going to look at me like, oh my God. Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look
It's
right,
comedy.
You know what I mean?
It's comedy.
I feel it.
Right.
I feel it. Yeah. No, it's cool. It fits. I'm stoked, but I mean, I'm stoked we're just continuing to do this and shit, but I'm extremely hyped to have you on because you're like, I don't want to say the newest member of the team, but like you're on the team. You're fucking with Ryan Ramirez and we're doing all this shit and like we've done projects. We just did the video shoot, which we'll talk about and stuff. And that's what I want to talk about today is just being on a team, building teams and all that type of shit. But tell me about yourself, bro. What's the deal? Who is Khalil? Where are you from? What's the dealio?
Man, originally from Hesperia, California, middle of nowhere. Pregnancy and tumbleweeds. That's all you're gonna see over there.
You said what?
Pregnancy and tumbleweeds.
Oh, pregnancy.
That's the Wikipedia. Just pregnancy and tumbleweeds.
Yeah, man. Lived out there since I was like consistent like my whole life since probably like 6 years old.
Yeah.
And then from there went to elementary, junior high school out there, and I didn't start producing music till I want to say 9th grade, maybe 8th, 9th grade, something like that. Like it started on like little apps on like the iPod. Like remember when the iPod Touch was like a big thing? Little like weird apps and stuff like that where you really couldn't do much.
GarageBand and stuff like that.
GarageBand. Well, yeah. Well, no,
GarageBand's fire now though.
Yeah. No, like
there
would be some. I don't even think they had GarageBand at the time. There would just be other little like third-party app things
with little sample.
Yeah, like little DJ thing.
I remember that. Yeah.
But I started on that, and then I got my first laptop, I believe, my freshman year. And which was a MacBook Pro, it was like a 2011, 2012 MacBook Pro or something like that. And I got that, and I didn't even know what GarageBand was. I always saw it on a like Mac, right? Always saw it, never really knew what it was until I pulled it up, and I was like, wait, hold on, this, I was started to play with the sounds and everything like that. I was like, okay, this is dope, right? Then I started doing more research on it, and then ended up finding Logic. Logic was a thing. I did the same thing Ryan did. I cracked that shit.
You'll buy it one day.
Yeah.
Hopefully Logic isn't watching this right now.
Yeah.
There's one guy who runs Logic. What the fuck are these fools on right here?
Yeah. So I cracked that. And yeah, started using that. But I was butt when I first started. You know what I mean? I was trash at
everybody
making beats,
is.
you know what I mean, right? And honestly, like I liked Logic doing it at the time, but then back in like 2018, then they came out with FL Studio for Mac. He was only on Windows at the time. So right when FL Studio came out, I said, right when I switched to FL is when I really started kicking off like making good stuff. You know what I mean? Not really so much because of the DAW. I mean, all the DAWs kind of do the same thing. It's just a matter of preference. You know? What I mean? But from there, and then I started, really taking off with it. And it wasn't until maybe like 3 years ago I started doing it seriously. At the time I was working at Paxson. And I was working full time over there. It was ridiculous, you know what I mean? So I didn't really have too much time. I feel
like when Juan introduced me and you, like, were you still working at PacSun? I feel like you. Or when did you stop doing that?
Yes, I think no. I stopped doing that last year, 2019. So
I think right when I met, then you were like, "Yeah, I work at PacSun, but like, fuck that shit. I'm trying to like produce full time and shit."
Still.
Yeah, okay.
And then got fired. Got fired, and then
you're beatboxing on the fucking clock, and they were like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
No, I was finessing clothes, man. Man, who the fuck gonna see it? Nobody's gonna see it. Like, I'm not gonna have the HR for PacSun come in. You know what I mean? Like,
HR is gonna hit you up to produce a beat and be like, wait a minute, we know this guy. Hold on.
But yeah, and then after that, I went to Zoomies. quit Zoomies because I wanted to just produce music full time. I was like, I'm over doing this regular 9 to 5 shit, working like 100 hours just to get an $800 paycheck or something.
I used to work at Tilly's.
Bro,
so we in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you guys got swag.
I hated it.
Even for real.
Yeah. Which is crazy because a lot of my clothes I don't really get from PacSun though. That's what I'm crazy. I'm either online shopping or like even H&M got some good shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but at that point I quit Zoomies and I was just like, I can't, like, I'm tired of doing this, slaving for hours over here, folding clothes, just tedious work that really isn't even work, just mind-numbing at that point. So
kind of busy work and shit.
I just went full-time producing music.
Sick.
I was selling beats for like 25.
Oh, yeah.
30 bucks, you know what I mean?
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Straight up.
And I guess because part of that was I still had an insecurity when it came to how good my stuff was.
Like, who am I?
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like, I felt like personally, I didn't have the validation to sell beats for like $100 or something. I feel like I didn't have that validation. I was like, who the fuck is this kid? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, with that, it was kind of like, that was kind of the thing that didn't really give me the motivation like that, was because I was selling it like for cheap like that. You know what I mean? Like 5 beats would barely give me like fucking $100. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of, so at that point, maybe like 3 years ago is when I really started taking it serious. How long ago did I meet you? Like a year ago?
October, I think.
Was that October?
He knows the date and the time, and he wrote it in his diary.
Tell them the story, like come up and shit.
Of what?
Like when we met and we started up and shit.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Ryan had a show at the Study. What was it called?
The Study. Yeah.
The Study.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember my boy Juan, telling me about that, and he asked me to go, and I said, yeah, let's do it. We drove down. I saw Ryan right there in the Study thing. Jacob Putty was like, thanks for coming, right? Chopping it up. And I saw the star of the show, Ryan. Ryan pulls up. How did we start chopping it up, right? I think.
You said what?
Did we just start chopping it up? I forgot how it happened.
Oh, yeah. You guys, I remember you guys just walked up and I was like, dude, Khalil, Ryan, whatever. And then, because we had all spoken about each other before. Like, Juan knew of we knew of you, like, whatever. And then you guys finally linked and it was just like, oh, cool. It was like you already knew each other, kind of.
Not only that, because we listened to the same goddamn music. So it was already easy to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I already knew
I could tell, too, by the shit you were wearing. I was like, this guy does something.
Yeah.
He had the look. Yeah.
Right. And so, from there, that's when me and Ryan started kicking it up.
Valkyrie. Thank you.
We casual.
All right.
We got a dog in here. I don't know if you can see it on the cameras, but we got a beautiful gal in here. A good dog.
I think she has to.
Anywho, so look, I know you got to get out of here at some point.
Yes.
But so I'm not gonna rush through it, but like
I don't want to rush.
I'll help guide it and shit too. You know what I'm saying? But back to where we were at. So you guys met at the Study, and then just like, so from there, like, where did things go? What songs have you guys worked on? Just up until now, just give me that timeline.
Okay, so I think shortly after that, Ryan, because I had told Ryan I was going to shoot him some beats, like, in the next few days after that. And, I was doing a bunch of shit. He texted me and was like, hey, bro, you going to shoot that pack over? I was like, oh, hell yeah, right? I think I sent, like, 3 beats over or something like that. And the beat that was in that pack was, like this. The song Like This.
Unreleased, by the way.
Huh?
It's unreleased, by the way.
Yeah, so. Unreleased, right. And, I
remember what it was called, too. It was RR2.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
And and from there, he got that shit done in like a day or 2 maybe, and then sent it back. And
with that one, I did it on New Year's Eve. I remember that shit in my mom's closet because they took the RV out of town.
Oh shit!
So I did that one in the closet. And I sent it back to you, and then you were like, "This is dope."
Yeah. He sent it back quick, and it was hard. I texted him, I was like, "What the fuck? This is hard as hell."
Yeah.
And then from there, I think I just started sending him more shit, and then we ended up getting, at the time I feel like we were doing more like LA, West Coast type sounding stuff, so I sent him more beats like that, and then we started doing some more little, you know what I mean, just mixing it up, you know what I mean, and from there, I don't know how many songs we have right now. I think we only have like 8, 10 maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, and from there, that's what happened, but,
that's sick.
And now I feel like I'm in a very motivated state, like where I always want to make beats now, because like another artist, Jay Anderson, I had DM'd him because my boy Steven had sent me a song that he had did with Kalen for real in LA, that Jay Anderson had did. So I heard it, I was like, who the hell is this dude? Like, this dude's hard, right? So you know, I DM'd him, sent him beats. He was like, bro, these are all hard. I'm gonna hop on these. So then maybe a month down the line, Jay told me to pull it to the studio. I pulled it to the studio. That's when I met Kanye. Kanye was there. Yeah, met Kanye, started linking with him. We cooked up on spot that day. Me and Kanye made some crazy shit. And then I just met everybody like in there that was really in the shit. You know what I mean? Like, and built relationships with them instantly. Like, it was easy. You know what I mean?
That's fire. So that's amazing, because I feel like when you start working, okay, there's like two ways you can look at it in my opinion. So you go and work with a team, right? I think that elevates you to some extent. Like me and Ryan linking up, like that elevated both of us. You being added to this team, Garrett, everybody, like everybody at the video shoot, like that whole thing was fucking amazing. So you get added to a team, dope. Now everybody, there's kind of like this synergistic
team,
type
man.
shit, right? But then when you get added to a team where everybody's trying to level each other the fuck up, like you and like Julio, bro, like when I pulled up into the studio for Ryan's video shoot, which we'll probably talk about a little bit more. So Julio, who works with you, Khalil, we walk into the studio, I see this fucker sleeping on the floor,
Knock
dude.
the fuck out.
And then he's like, yeah, I did an engineering session or whatever from like 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and then I just came over here. This fool was sleeping in the fucking studio. And I'm like, dude, if you're gonna be on a team with anyone, you want to be working with some fool like that. You want to be working with some fool like Kanye and like all these other dudes who are just like going off. So I mean,
shout out Julio.
Yeah,
Best
no, for
engineer I
real.
know.
For real. I've known the guy. I've hung out with him for 5 minutes in my entire life, but it was dope.
Right.
But how does like being on a team like that, how did that elevate you? Was that just like, did you enter a new world like when you started working with them?
That's you nailed it right there. It was crazy because like I said, once I had quit the job, you know, that's when I really started doing it. But it was always a question of, when am I going to hit that point where it finally starts to pay off a little bit? You know what I mean? And I still have a long ways to go. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's like I'm still working. You know. But I will say, yeah, it was, because at that point, that's when I started getting plugged with a lot of, you know, bigger artists, like whether they're in LA or, you know what I mean? Like people, like I remember back in October, RJ, he had, big LA artist, had an album release party. Pulled up over there with me and my boy Steven. I mean, there's so many celebrities in there, bro. I mean, Slim Jimmy of Ray Shremmerd, Dom Kennedy, Joe Moses, OT Genesis, Mustard. So many damn people in there that I want to work with. You know what I mean? Kaylin was in there. I ended up getting a picture with Kaylin. And I remember when I left, I was like, I'm going to work with one of these motherfuckers one day.
Fuck yeah, dude.
May comes of this year. That's when I had met Kanye. Kanye was like, hey, bro, like my boy Ty, he's got a session with Kaylin or something. I was like,
everything lined up.
Like, yeah, he was like, pull up. And oh my God, when I tell you guys that night, the night before that session, I stayed up till 7 a.m. and made loops, beats. I had to make sure I was prepared. I couldn't fumble this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't fumble it. And I was so stoked and nervous because like I said, a part of me still has that insecurity, only because like as a producer, you hear the beat you're making 50,000 goddamn times. You know what I mean? As you're putting it together too. So you don't really feel it as like somebody would feel it their first time hearing it. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. I don't know how it works. Probably some psychological shit. I don't know. But that's how it is. You know what I mean? So when I pulled up to the session, there was actually another loop that I thought Kaylin was gonna like and Ty was gonna like. But he was like, no, let's go to the next one. I was like, right? It was literally the second one, which was probably another one of my favorites too. He had picked that one. Kanye hopped straight on the drums, put the drums on it right there. Kaylin pulled up, they recorded it right there, easy.
Dope.
It was a rough, so they're gonna redo it and everything like that. But other than that, yeah, once I hit that point, I was like, man, I really spoke that shit into existence.
That's dope. That's dope.
Like I really said, like 5-6 months ago before that, or whatever, maybe like 8 months ago.
That manifesting shit's real, man.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And from there, ever since being plugged with all these good people, like it kind of motivates me too, because I was talking to Kanye about it, and he was saying, you know, like he just wants to pass on all the game he knows to other people, you know what I mean, about it. And it's like,
that's fire,
that's
dude.
what I want to do too, you know what I mean? Like, because this shit's so cutthroat, like so much fuckery goes on.
And that's the type of person you want to work with too.
Yeah.
And that's dope, because I think a lot of people think that in order for me to be successful, this guy's got to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially like competing artists, producers, whatever.
That's not how it is. Right.
Exactly. But the thing with the music industry is that it's collaborative.
Right.
So the best shit is made through collaboration.
Right.
Yeah.
So until people realize, like, yo, when you team up with people and you put other people on, you're only bringing good karma back to yourself.
Yeah.
and you're just gonna make better shit. It's like why would you feel like this person needs to lose for you to win?
Right.
I think that's a common ego thing that goes on, you know.
And shout out Julio again, like he's helped me out a ton in terms of, you know, I mean, even just because I've helped bring in sessions in the studio too. It's like this motherfucker doesn't charge me to use the studio. Not essentially, I don't need to use the studio. I'm really just there to kick it with them, just kick it with all the people that's involved in this shit. You know what I mean?
Putting yourself in that environment,
right? When you're just in that environment, it motivates you even more. You know what I mean? So with that being said, but yeah, like. That's the nervous thing I have about being in the industry like that, is only because I don't want to get fucked over like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I'm not a fuck over person. Like I don't ever want to do that to anybody like that. Like I do want to just, you know, help, but it's like a lot of people just want to bring it, you know, be above. It's like it's a competition thing. You know what I mean? So
let's talk about like the importance of chemistry in a team, because I think that, to me, that shit's pretty rare to find. In different ways, like in different factors about it. So I'm curious, like, what are you guys' take on chemistry?
Chemistry,
how do you get
important? It's important too. It's natural. Yeah, like chemistry should be natural, and you'll know if it's natural. You know what I mean? Like I've worked with people where it's so damn hard to work with them, because it's like, bruh, you know what I mean? Like they're either just hard, like they just don't have good communication skills in terms of how do I say the word I'm looking for, like they can be rude but don't even know they're being rude like that. Like
they're not socially aware of
you know what I mean? And I've dealt with people like that, or you know, I've worked with people where they don't even know what the hell they want. Like they said, "Oh, I want a up tempo, slow R&B, dark." You know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell?
Tight beat.
Right, tight beat. Right. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. You know, it's hard like that. But like working with Ryan, it's easy. You know what I mean? Like I know exactly what he wants, and whatever I send him, he'll fucking kill it. You know what I mean?
One of my friends, my buddy Mikhail, shout out to him. He runs a digital marketing company and like social media management company in Costa Mesa, and he always gives a lot of really good advice on his Instagram. I think it's at MIQK. So he's always posting about like business, working with clients, whatever. This dude is just like a killer, like people person, like really awesome dude. And he posted something that said like, God, I'm gonna fucking butcher it, but it was like, you know, basically don't work with bad clients. Like your time's valuable, your money's valuable, whatever. Like don't work with bad clients. And I could not agree more, dude. Like, it doesn't matter how much, you know, so-and-so is paying you for a beat, or paying you to engineer, or paying you to write a song or do vocals or engineer, whatever the fuck it is, or for me to manage them or anything, or for Deja to like draw something up. Like, it doesn't matter the price. That shit needs to be worth your fucking time, because if you're working with them and it's a shitty time and you're wasting your time, that time could have been better spent to make more money. I think people are so focused on the bottom line of like, how much can I earn per hour? How much is this person gonna pay me? No, dude. Transactional. You use your time to make money. So if you can make better use of your time to make a good amount of money, and you can do it while keeping yourself mentally healthy, physically healthy, working in a good relationship, that's way better than like, oh cool, I got a fat bottom line, but working with this person kills me and it's fucking shitty.
I 100% agree with that. I would add too, I think the kicker to it though, is sometimes you gotta look yourself in the mirror and face the hard truth and realize maybe it's you sometimes. Which I've had to do that to myself before, where I had an ego in the studio. I had an ego like with someone who I'm collaborating with, and it wasn't vibing, and I thought it was the other person, but I had to take a step back and say, you know what? It's me. It's me. And I think
did you maybe think it was a thing of you comparing yourself to the person, like in a way where you're like, if you say you're collaborating with a person, like, oh, I'll kill this dude in vocals, or, you know what I mean? Like, was it that type of ego thing, or was it just?
No, I think when you get confident in what you do, like for me, it was like writing. Right. In the beginning stages, I just kind of like, instead of may the best idea win, it was like, I feel like my ideas are better, low key, and like yours aren't. Right. Like that kind of vibe, which I think is natural. Right. Like when you start getting good at something, but you got to realize like, yo, like it's may the best idea win. Put the ego aside, and it's, you just got to make the best shit possible. Yeah. You know.
Well, you got a big ass team. Like I'm on your team. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm part of the Ryan Ramirez team and shit. So we just had a video shoot for No Help, and everybody in this room, Valkyrie and Deja were there. Like everybody was there, and that was dope. That was literally your entire fucking team minus AJ. I wish AJ was here. Where's he at? Arkansas?
Utah. No, Kansas.
Oh, Kansas.
Oh, Kansas. Right. Shit. We're all goddamn. He's somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Like talk about you've built this team over 2, 3, 4 years or whatever. Like, what's that chemistry like? What's it like? Who's on your team? What's it like working with everybody? What do you like about it? What's hard about it? What was hard about the shoot? Like, just talk to me about that.
I think the team building was such a gradual process because I really started going in on shit like 5 or 6 years ago. And like you were like the first well, actually it was Joe. I would say Joe was like the first person
to get on board
and stuff. And even then it was like a gradual build. But one thing I've realized is like whenever you're building a team, no matter who you are, the harder you work and like the better attitude you have about it, like you just start attracting the right people. So it's like you guys came into the picture or whatever, and I hate to say like it's my team, like just because it's my name, like I don't think it's my team. I think we're all in it for our own benefits too.
I love you for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
thank you.
Not, bro.
Like, yeah, Ryan
Andy's
Ramirez
humble.
is the brand, but like we're all fucking equals on this team to make one product, right? And so I think it's important to like realize like, yo, everyone literally plays a huge role. Everyone has their own skill sets. Everyone is like contributing to this shit, you know, as much as they can. And I think the hardest part though, definitely for me, maybe you guys can relate to, was like fizzling out like people who kind of like you thought would work with you, but like over time you realize like, damn, like, you know, they're not as passionate about it as I thought. They're kind of going this way with things, and like we go our separate ways or whatever, which is normal, I think, with anything. Yeah. But I think like over time you build like an intuition of like, yo, like I can tell that this guy is passionate first and foremost about what he does, and second of all, like he believes in me and I believe in him or her. You know what I'm saying? So I think and then as far as the video shoot, I think that shit went smooth. Like I think that was like probably the smoothest video shoot we've ever had.
Yeah, and I was kind of stressing about it a little bit because we've done a bunch. I think you've done one without me.
That more stressful, like
yeah, and like nothing went right. Like it was always like, you know.
I mean, I thought it went smooth that day.
Yeah, no, it
did.
It
was
did.
Easy.
It
did. Beverly Hills shoot. Went straight to the studio.
Well, the thing is, like, even certain things went, you know, quote unquote, wrong with that. Like we always expect something to go wrong, meaning like nothing's ever going to go according to plan in life. That's why you make a plan, you try to follow, and you control and adjust along the way. Like Deja, wasn't your friend supposed to be in it? Yeah.
She canceled last minute.
Yeah. Okay. So Deja's friend was supposed to be in it. She canceled last minute. Like that's a problem.
First of all, shout out Deja too, Khalil's sister, for being the star of the video.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So she did good though. But even before her though, like this always happens every video. Like the main girl who's supposed to be in it like flakes out or bails out or whatever. So thank you for coming in clutch on that for sure. But other than that, like I think this video was pretty good.
Yeah. And so despite all that, you know, which wasn't even bad shit, like the team handled it. Every single person did what they were supposed to do in their respective position. I respected what you guys were doing. You guys respected what I was doing, and we all worked together to create something better than if we did it on our own. And the most important part of being on a team is synergy. Right, so 1 + 1 = 3. Right. So like if I get with you two fools and we're doing something and the product of us three isn't greater than 3, like that's kind of a red flag for me. Like, you know, when you work with Khalil in the studio, the product should be 30. Not 2, not just you two together. It should be huge. So anytime I'm working with a team, I just think like, how can we create the greatest amount of synergy?
Yeah, and one of the things that I really love most about this video shoot is that I think this one, everyone really respected everyone's role. Yeah. Right? Like, I think in past videos, everyone was kind of a little bit of everything.
Like, motherfuckers who don't even know what the hell they're talking about that this person wants to tell somebody how to
even we're all kind of cross roles. Like, we're all directing.
Too many chefs in the kitchen.
Like,
Too many chefs in the
I
kitchen.
literally, like, Sticks, I let him do his thing.
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
I was like, you've been doing this for years. I ain't gonna say shit about nothing. I was like, you know how to do this. Yeah. I'm not gonna chime in and tell you how the fuck to run this shit. You know what I mean?
And you're a good fucking team member for doing that. Like that's everybody needs to know when to be a leader and when not to be a leader. Like, you know, when it was your role and you guys were like walking in, we got into the studio and like that was your shit. I was asking you like, hey, where do we put this? What do we do? Whatever. Like that's your shit. When it came down to Grant and Daniel and Ryan dancing, which by the way was fucking fire. That shit was hot as fuck. Like I was like, that Sticks as shit. I'm gonna do it. But you know, but there was still the collaborative aspect of where everybody was involved, and I think I think that's dope, man. That's
yeah. There was definitely no ego, like at all. Like everyone had their own shit going on, which is dope.
Yeah. What
It's also top that all everybody like knew each other there too. You know what I mean?
Everyone's comfortable.
We had Kat, we had Aaron, we had Dave,
yeah, the homies were
like,
there, dude. It was cool.
Everybody knows each other,
Yeah.
so it was like there was nothing to really, you know what I mean? It just made it that much more easy.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be different. I mean, yeah, of course, it was my first time meeting Styx and Garrett and all them, but even that, cool as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It was mutual. Like they knew us, we knew you.
Right,
like everybody
right,
knew each
right.
other. It was cool. I'm glad you're on here because I think especially now, I don't know if the whole scene has been there before and maybe I just didn't notice it because I wasn't really like focusing in on it or aware of it or whatever, but I've seen a huge influx of people trying to come up as producers. I don't know if you've seen that though.
God,
I see people like, yeah.
Let me tell you, it's not as saturated as people wanting to be music artists in terms of rapping.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody want to be a fucking rapper nowadays. You know what I mean? Now that's different because that's where the money comes in for me.
Yeah.
Essentially, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I really do it for the music. I love, you know, where you make a hit and you're like, ugh, like, you know what I mean? You make, you know what I mean? So, but oh my God, as producers, it's ridiculous because essentially, music production has gotten so simple nowadays in terms of rap and shit. Like, essentially, everybody can do it. It's just, you gotta have, at this point, know some basic fucking keys on the keyboard. And you know what I mean? And
Or you throw in an Apple loop
there
in
you go.
4/4
Throw in a loop.
and
But
some drums
another
and shit.
thing,
Yeah,
I was just gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Before that, but you know, cause you hear melodies nowadays on trap beats, it's beep boop, bop boop.
Yeah.
And it's like a melody, and then I throw the drums over it, and then it's a fucking hit.
Yeah.
For example, the box, Roddy Ricch. And then the, you know, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
you know, just a little simple as hell.
Yeah.
Bounce was just hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Roddy killed it.
Yeah.
Number one. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I feel like that's what really gets, because back then, I mean, in the Michael Jackson days, you know, like rock shit, like I wanna
Yeah,
run
Quincy
with
Jones
you.
and
Quincy
shit.
Jones and shit. You hear all the percussion in those.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And that's what I was gonna tag on too. One thing I really like about your production style is that you specialize in melody.
Hella.
And melody,
you know what I
in my
mean?
opinion, is the
So
piece
important.
that is the only thing that can be timeless. Drums, yeah, you could recreate
It's
that any
easy
generation.
to do drums though. That's the easiest part. That's why, as a producer, I love doing the melody. I really don't like using loops like that. Not disrespecting the loop game or nothing like that. That's cool. Hell yeah. That's the fastest way to work in terms of you have, because there's people who do only loops.
Yeah.
Who are just loop makers, you know what I mean? Make dope melodies
And they make fire shit.
And they make
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
Which, hell yeah. But as a producer, I wouldn't just want to be like, all the time, base my whole career off of getting a loop from somebody. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so accessible nowadays. Do you know what I mean? To produce music now. It's, at this point, it's really about, yeah, you got to be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do have to be good. You know, you can't, I've heard plenty of dookie beats in my life. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's really about who you know at that point, because you could have the dopest loop, you could have the hottest beat, but if you don't know the people to get it out to, or some type of outlet, you know what I mean? It's not gonna, you know, you can't go.
Well, so that's kind of what I was getting into.
Yeah.
Is so like there's this huge influx of producers, maybe because it's one, super accessible, and two, becoming a little bit easier to actually make loops and beats and shit. Like you don't have to know music theory or anything. Like back then, you know, when they were producing Thriller and producing all these crazy ass things, those were like, they would like record live drums and then chop that, take a sample on. There weren't sample packs everywhere. The DAW didn't immediately put it into time. You couldn't change the pitch or the key of the song. So it's a little bit easier. It's accessible. Now that's not
You do it
to
on
like
a laptop now, man.
Yeah.
You just be at home.
and that's not to like negate or invalidate people's beats.
Right.
Like if you make fire shit and
Hell yeah.
you know zero music theory, like you still made fire shit. I don't give a fuck, dude. You make good music. So what I want to get into is like, what should producers be looking for? Like, so I'm a producer, I'm up and coming. Am I trying to work with a bunch of Ryan Ramirez's? Should I get a manager? Should I hit up other producers? Like, what team do I build if I'm trying to come up?
So what I did, how it really started, like, one of the first consistent artists I worked with was my boy, my other boy, Ryan. Sayal, he's dope. And, like, it's really just about...
Bottom line, just find a Ryan.
Yeah.
yeah.
Any Ryan.
It's really just about, like,
the
building your catalog with people. Do you know what I mean? I feel like once you get into the bigger business picture of it, then you'll be like, okay, maybe I should find a manager, maybe I should find a lawyer. You know what I mean? Once you're gonna start getting into that area of where you're gonna start getting placements and stuff like that. You want to make sure no fuckery happens. But in terms of building a team, it's always good to have a good relationship and catalog with whatever artist you work with. You know what I mean? So that, you know what I mean? So the team, you can just build your team really with kind of subconsciously, not, you know, you don't even realize how, you know, the networking you're doing with people and stuff like that. So is, you know, as an upcoming producer trying to work with people, make sure you'll know as a producer, you'll know when you hit that point where you're like, okay, I'm actually good at what I do. Yeah. Because I'll never forget, like when I first started, I was trash. You know what I mean? But then I did hit an epiphany where I was like, okay, like I think I'm content with the shit I make. I think I could really, you know what I mean? And from there, people are gonna know that. You know what I mean? And it's just about working and building relationships. That's all I could really say.
Real quick before we move on, turn that AC on, bro.
Yeah,
fuck it. Even if it's in the background, like we'll talk louder. Sorry guys, we're turning the AC on. I'm fucking sweating here, and I'm in shorts and shit. No. Yeah, we had to turn the AC on. I'm dying here. So sorry to everybody. Yeah. But no, but that's dope, man. That's like,
if that answered your question.
Yeah, no, it did. So I mean, you put a big focus on basically just working with other artists, building your catalog, getting your name on the beat. How important is a beat tag?
You know, everybody has mixed feelings about beat tags.
What's a beat tag?
There's
real
so
quick,
many.
for
A
people
beat
listening?
tag is, I mean, for example, the biggest beat tags you hear is DJ Mustard on that beat, ho.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, just so many. Just so many. There's so many big superstar producers out there who it's important if you want to have validation. Like, a lot of big name producers do not use tags. And it's mainly for the sole purpose of maybe they think it's corny, or maybe they just don't want to be known like that but still get the bread behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I don't know. It could be that. I don't really know. I personally like tags because I like people to know, like, okay, he did this. You know what I mean? He did this. Oh, he did this. It's going to be hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's, you know, but for some producers, they just, it's a matter of preference at the end of the day. That's how I see it. But
cool.
Yeah.
What is like the crucial relationship then? Like, if you, like, I'm up and coming, like, who's one person I should reach out to right now on Instagram? Like, should I DM another producer? Like, let's work. So you're, based on your last answer, just get with an artist and just fucking put shit out?
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I say about this, because a lot of people always just want to shoot to work with the top 5 biggest artists. They always want to work with a Drake or you know what I mean, or something like that. It's like, honestly, I say go and work with the up and coming people. That's where the undiscovered talent is. I can't tell you how many people are so many harder who have way less followers than this artist or something like that, and they're way harder. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so from there, I would DM them like I did with Jay. I DM'd Jay. Jay has like 3,000 followers. Yeah. I went and DM'd him. I said, bro, your shit is hard as hell. What's up?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Well, and that right there with
and with that is, like, in your quest to come up and shit, don't lose sight as a music artist and a producer and all that. I consider producers music artists in a sense. Music artists in the music industry, don't lose sight of this. Have fun making music.
At the end of the day. Really.
Just because you're collabing with someone who only has 200 followers or whatever. And it's the same for anything. It's the same for, like, painting or visual arts or whatever. Like, dude, do it because you love it. Don't try to come up so hard and you're trying to build this crazy fucking team, and then you're like, you've gone 6 months without making music because you can't find the right guy.
If you only focus on the sole purpose of just trying to be a gimmick for it and just make money, you know, or just only focusing on the buck, like, if you just do the music and take the extra steps, I mean, going to learn an instrument, going to learn, I self-taught myself the piano. Yeah. Self-taught myself the guitar. I'm not as cold as you and Juan on it, but you know what I mean? I self-taught everything. Like, I really
still got that. What do you got, a Telly, or you got a
I got a
Strat,
Fender
right?
Strat.
Fuck
yeah,
dude.
Fender.
Yeah, that's tight.
And so it's really just taking the extra steps to actually want to be good at what you do. Yeah. And once you do that, the money comes along.
I was going to say, like, I think as far as the whole team thing, in my opinion, don't worry about building a team. I think that shit comes when you hone your craft and you get really good at what you do and you are persistent about it. And then you start attracting people like, okay, this guy's really about it and he's good. Then the team kind of slowly starts forming, and it's going to be the right people too. Like, I think that a lot of times people will rush into a team like, oh, this guy has clout, so, like, I need to be on his team. But it's like, dude, at the end of the day, if you end up getting clout and you don't vibe with that person,
it doesn't mean
it
shit.
doesn't matter. Like you have to build a foundation of people regardless of their clout and following and whatever it is. Like you gotta vibe with them because you're in this shit for the long run. If you're in this for the long run, you know what I'm saying? Like make sure you have a dope team.
I say just be conscious of it. Just be conscious like, hey, I'm trying to build a team, but don't wake up every day and be like, who's gonna be my producer? Khalil's my producer, I'm only gonna work with him. What this and that. It's just like let it happen. Let it happen, you know?
Definitely.
Man.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So what do you think is like a big separator? Like what separates a great producer from every other producer, and what separates like a great song from like every other song? What's your opinion on that?
That's such a broad.
It is.
Like, you know what I mean? Only because like music is just changed. Like I'm gonna keep it real with you. Everything in music has been done already. Whether that's been done hundreds of years ago, or you know what I mean. Everything. Michael Jackson literally studied classical music. All the time. Took rhythms from classical music, everything like that. You know what I mean? Just different cadences and everything, and adapted it to his shit. You know what I mean? Everything's already been done. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of what have we in this generation haven't heard. You know what I mean? Like, you know, shit's been done. I mean, look at Bruno Mars, for example. He brought back the 90s shit. You know what I mean? It's for producers, I feel like what's really, that's what I was talking about. It's getting so oversaturated that everybody sounds the same now. It's never really like, oh, I know this sound. This gotta be this producer. Of course, there's big name producers. You'll know exactly, like Mustard. You hear
Scott Storch.
You hear Scott Storch. You know what I mean? You'll know Pharrell, who the hell did the beat. You know what I mean? But that's because they made their own style type thing and kind of built off that. You know what I mean? It's really about what can make you stand out from other producers. Do you know what I mean? But like what's gonna stand out and what sounds dope? You know what I mean? Because I've heard a lot of shit that stands out. But you know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean it's like the shit. You know what I mean? It's like if you find that new shit that you know is gonna pop off, stick with it. You know what I mean?
Do you think that's a natural like a natural gift and talent, or do you think that's something that over time, the more you do it, like you develop something?
Probably over time, because the thing is, what we really just replicate what we hear a lot. You know what I mean? Like it's nobody's ever 100% original. Do you know what I mean? Like you're building off of some idea, right? You have, everybody has influences. You know what I mean? So nobody's ever. It's at that point once you get comfortable, like, okay, maybe I'll change some of this up now, and then you'll kind of change it as time goes on. So then at that point you're developing your own sound that you don't really hear anybody. I wouldn't go and force it and be like, oh, I have to make changes to make it not sound like this or something like that. Just do it according to what song you're making or something like that. But what makes a good song, man, for artists is, you know what I mean? It just that there's so many different types of music out there that acquire to different people's ears. You know what I mean? Like that's so hard to answer. You know what I mean?
You guys worked together on Double R Part 1 and Part 2. So Double R Part 2 isn't released. Double R Super Mega Ultra Premium Deluxe version isn't released.
Version.
The complete version, the remastered version. No, we're gonna release like 20 versions. I think you have 3 songs on Part 1? Three on Part 1 and then a couple on Part 2, right? Each project's like 3? Okay, 3 and 3.
Part 2.
What was it like producing those and working together on that shit? And like,
I mean, because there was actually a few of them I would literally pull up in the RV and sit right here and have my laptop and just cook shit up.
That's
Ryan
sick.
would literally be recording right there. And another time when we did another unreleased song, All About You, I was literally in the room with Ryan. Was I forgot what the hell you were doing. He was just sitting on his bed and I was sitting on his brother's
That's amazing.
bed. And literally just
I remember that day too, like it was so hot outside and my AC wasn't working in here.
Oh,
so I was like,
shit.
we are not hanging out in here. So we went in my brother's room.
I feel that.
Right.
But
and so making those tracks, I mean, it's just easy. You know what I mean? Like it's easy once I'm like, okay, this is hard. I send it over. He kills it in a day or two. It's like, you know what I mean? Like
so I think that's a big thing on a team is like the work, even if the work is technically difficult, like producing beats is difficult. Like being an artist and recording like layers and shit, it's difficult, but the process of doing it together on a good team should be made easy. I don't care if you're working in a corporate environment or if you're doing visual arts and you're trying to collab with other people or whatever it is, like working with a team should make things easier because you got another fucking head to knock against and be like, hey, what's this idea? What should we do? So working with a team, I think that's like the biggest thing I took from this conversation, and the video shoot, and like my work experience, everything, like my life. I've come to realize when you work with a team, it needs to make things easier, right? Because then you can get more shit done.
Yeah.
Right. What's your favorite song off Double R Part 1?
Probably Willing.
Just know that I'm willing.
Yeah. Probably Willing, just because I love that piano in there too. Like,
That shit starts off, I just want to be
it's
like,
crazy because I still think about it today. I'm like, I don't even know how the fuck I put that one together. Like, I just remember the chords, but I don't even remember how I put that rhythm together. It was like, you know what I mean? It was really, it was some crazy shit. I don't even know how I did that.
That's amazing. What about you, Ray?
Off Part 1.
That he's produced.
Off Part 1.
Yeah.
So we have No Help. We got
I think Speed It Up's my favorite. That one's kind of slept on.
When I speed it up,
That was kind of slept on.
it's just so different when I build you up. Yeah, that shit's hard.
Yeah, build
And then
you up. Yeah.
that shit
But
hits, dude.
my favorite one that we've made, we haven't released it, and it'll be on Part 2. So stay tuned.
Can you say the name or not?
You don't want to say the name?
Choose
What's it called? For those listening, it's a special thing they know.
Yeah, it's called. It's gonna be the first track. It's called All About You.
Oh yeah, All About You. That's my favorite one. That shit hard.
That shit vibes.
That shit's hard. Yeah.
That's sick.
And Build You Up's good too. That's gonna be. On Part 2
Build
as
You
well.
is gonna be a bot too. Yeah.
Speed it up, build you up.
For those of you guys who are tuning in, right, you guys are gonna get the sneak peek about what's coming out. So basically, the Part 2 is all like the vulnerable, lovey, soft Ryan, soft Khalil, soft AJ type shit. Like it's like the Part 1 was kind of the cocky, like upbeat, fun,
No help.
no help, yeah, that kind of shit. But this one's the more like, I'm in love with you, like whatever type.
It's
You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's multiple sides of us, you know.
That's amazing.
Men have emotions too.
Yeah.
Where could we find you at, Khalil?
Yeah.
Instagram, SoundCloud. What is it?
At Khalillionaire on Instagram. KHALILLIONAIRE.
Can we do that one more time? No,
Yes.
I'm just fucking with you. No, we got that. I'm just kidding. Tight. What do you want people to reach out to you in any way, or what's the
always.
deal? Like,
I'm always open to work with. I get DMs and be like, oh my god, hey bro, this is hard, let's work. I'm like, cool, let's do it. Like it could be producers, it could be other upcoming artists. It doesn't matter because I have friends that also refer me to other people, and other people are like, oh shit, I'll tap in with them.
yeah.
You know what I mean, same thing with Julio. People, I'll hit up people who need studio time. Sometimes people hit me up because they see me in the studio on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey bro, I need studio time. I'll be like, Julio, got a session for you.
Fire.
Easy. You know what I mean?
Fire, man.
And we go from there. So yeah, I'm
That's dope.
always up for everything, man.
That's dope. Well, my man, I appreciate you being on.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Tight, bro.
Yes sir.
Thank you for coming on, and peace out, everybody.
Yeah.
What's in your mind for you and for I? I'm trying to decide from the look in your eyes, yeah. I made my signs, but your feelings inside you. I'm messing up my mind and my spirit.